Hey, it's BT from my friends over at I Promise, and I've done my fair share of gaming back in the day. Heck, I do my fair share of gaming now. And with gaming continuing to grow in popularity among kids and adults, pretty much guaranteed that there will be some eye issues as a result. Symptoms like blurred vision, dry eyes, headaches. That's why you need to check out Screen Shield Pro and Screen Shield Teen from I Promise. Time for you to combat all those symptoms of digital eye strain. Screen Shield Pro and Screen Shield Teen act as an internal sunblock for your eyes. They help filter out the blue light from all that time in front of your gaming device, your TV, or your phone. You spend too much time on your phone and you know it. I Promise is a local company based right here in St. Louis. All natural products formulated by optometrists. They are fantastic. I Promise has a solution for you and for your kids. And if you use the promo code BT when you place an order, you get 50% off at ipromise.com. Get rid of the dry, tired eyes with Screen Shield. Visit EYEpromise.com today.
This is the Fast Lane Podcast, powered by I Promise. Now, here's the Fast Lane.
Bring out the Zamboni, the horn sounds, and the Blues get a 3-1 win over the Ducks and take the magic number from 6 points down to 4 as they inch closer to the postseason.
Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter. We start off today's show with the Blues, who get it done last night against the Ducks. It was a 3-1 winner. Cash the under, boys. I don't know if you listened to the Blues pregame show. I actually got a pick right, which is rarity right now.
Well, it wasn't for the bet the board, was it? Because I checked on our little Google Doc, and y'all didn't do so well yesterday.
Jamie's Vegas Knights blew them multiple massive leads. They blew multiple massive leads.
Anthony. And it was incredible. They gave up 3 goals in the third period. Thanks a lot there, BT.
Meets overplay was done by the third inning?
Yeah, I believe
Last
so.
night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally giving Waino some support. Thanks, guys.
I had the over in the Mariners-Orioles game. I think that was 0-0 until the 7th.
Until the 12th.
And then it fell 1 run short. So, we didn't do too good in bet the board. But the Blues did great. They pick up a winner last night against the Ducks. Kind of a lot to dive into, but let's start off with David Perron here.
Sure.
So David Perron, 600th point in his 600th game. 400 points now for the Blues. Well done, David Perron. Jamie, we'll definitely get into the game, but if you were to sum up Perron's career to this point, if you could kind of encapsulate what he has meant to the Blues on several different occasions now, how would you do that? How would you kind of summarize his accomplishments?
Well, look, David Perron is a great example of how a player can mature over the years. And sometimes you have to send it away to get it back the way you want it to be. And, David Perron is a great example of that. He was traded from the Blues, and he went off to a couple of different other teams along the way. He learned a lot about playing a full, rounded-out game. Came back, played very, very well for the Blues, but then unfortunately you can only protect a certain amount of guys for an expansion draft, and unfortunately David Perron was too good for Vegas to pass up on. Went to Vegas, got them to the Stanley Cup final, and then in free agency decided, you know what, I'm going to go try that Blue Note out again, and came back here again. So for me, this is a guy that has been massive in your transition of the franchise. If you go back to David Perron's first year, things were starting to climb out of the dark ages because that window of time from 2004 to 2009, 2010 was pretty bleak. The fans weren't there. The ownership was in limbo. It was a different animal here. David Perron, David Backes, Alex Pietrangelo, although they all didn't come in at the same time, they're all part of that core group that started to turn this franchise around, along with Ken Hitchcock, who was a big part of that. And you look at if you look at David Perron's game now compared to where it was when he started, it's night and day. He used to be Mr. Flashy, came in, everybody likes to talk about he was wearing white skates his first training camp. Well, yeah, he was.
Al McInnes tweeted that.
Yeah.
They came a long way from the white skates.
Which, I get it. You don't really show up to your first camp with the white skates.
They look hot.
He was 18. He didn't know any better. You come to camp, and my point is he was flashy, young kid, and he was score at all cost, which meant not playing on the defensive side of the puck, maybe not being as aware as he should be in certain situations. You watch him now, and you listen to Craig Berube talk about David Perron, and he's got raving reviews about him. You know, he talks about how good he is with the puck and where he puts a puck in the game and how defensive-minded he is and how he gets the guys going on the bench, how he reminds guys every single shift, hey, we got to do this, we've got to change this. Guys, David Perron, if he's not in your, let's say, your Mount Rushmore of this decade of player, right? Maybe a little more because we're in the 2020s now, but in the past 10, 12 years of the Blues, I don't know who is. I think you have to put him up there. Anybody who wants to come back that many times is someone who should be recognized here with the Blues.
And I would say even the bigger compliment there is any team that wants a player back that many times. Because sometimes a player sees something, Jamie, right? It's like, oh, that's a fit for me. I like it. And the team said, yeah, that's great for you, not great for us. You love a player when you bring him back multiple times. And it's funny as you talk about the evolution of the player, of David Perron. I think to myself, like, I feel like people watch the games and they see, all right, you're an NHL player, and then everybody's just NHL players, and you're supposed to have it all figured out once you reach that level. Yes, there's development, and yes, there are things that you tweak on your way to the NHL or Major League Baseball or the NFL. You're not a finished product. And some guys, it takes a little bit longer. Some guys are quick to it. Some guys never make those adjustments. I'm sure for you, seeing Perry do what he's done over the years, that's probably fun for you to watch the evolution.
I love watching him play. I texted him last night following the game, just a congratulations on the games played. And then, of course, on the points. And I just wrote a little side note to it was, I love watching you play, man. Keep it up. I do. And we had the good fortune, and Perry's on the morning show with Carricker and Smallman once a week, but we had the good fortune of having him on not too long ago, and he talked about how competitive he was. I know we all remember that conversation, right. But then when you watch him play, and I've seen him practice, day in and day out, he's a son of a you-know-what out there. Like, he never gives up on a play. He's that guy, that Mr. Try-Hard in practice, you're tired, whatever. He's not stopping. Well, it's the same when you watch him play. That's why so many people can't stand to play against him. That's why his name pops up all the time is, well, what did you think about well, that Perron used to always get under my skin. And Perry's not even a tough guy. He doesn't hit anybody barely, but he's under everybody's skin because he works so dang hard. And, yeah, the evolution of his game, it's been a lot of fun to watch. It's awesome to watch him and O'Reilly. And as much as we praise Ryan O'Reilly for the little details that he does out there and the extra work he puts in before and after, David Perron is the same thing. They're side by side, those guys. That's why they're such a great match, is because David Perron was doing that stuff on his own. Ryan O'Reilly came in and started doing there like, hey, wait a minute. I got somebody I can do all this extra work with, and he's a really good line mate. This might work, and it has.
Did we just become best friends?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Robert Bortuzzo scores last night. I know that he hasn't been always a fan favorite, especially lately. You get some text messages like, anytime Bortuzzo's on the ice, you feel like something bad's going to happen. He's come up with two big moments. One last night with the game winner. He obviously had the empty netter, but the game winner last night for Robert Bortuzzo. He's a guy that has made an impact now twice over the last 2 weeks. I think the other one was against the Avalanche, or maybe it was one of the first Minnesota games. Either way, what did you see out of Bortuzzo last night? I thought it was interesting that Berube said he does a nice job kind of finding the soft zones in the offense.
The biggest thing I'll say about Robert Bortuzzo is he figured out what the coach wants. Some guys never do that, and then they sit there and they're like, well, the coach hates me. Well, no, you haven't done what he's asked you to do, and he's pretty much given you the answers to the test. Greg Berube gave us all the answers to the test. Soft, fragile, mentally weak, talking about the net front play. They don't move sticks. They don't move bodies. If you're Robert Bortuzzo and you're hearing that, but you're not putting it all together, shame on you. Robert Bortuzzo came back in the lineup, and he's been cleaning out the front of the net. He gives it to guys. He's been in 2 fights against the Wild, sticking up for a teammate. Another guy going after the biggest guy on the Wild team. He's blocking shots. Now he's getting involved in the offense, which he's always been able to do that, to contribute, to add that layer. Maybe not scoring, but keeping the possession of the puck. But I think for a little while he lost his way, thinking that was more of his game than the nasty stuff, right? Bortuzzo's game is start in front of your net, play nasty, block shots, make easy plays, and then once you've done all that, now you can support the attack. Now you can join the rush. Now you can get in on the cycle play down low. If you don't do the first thing, the second thing, which is your add-on features, they don't matter because Craig Berube needs the first features. He needs the meat and potatoes of what you do.
Sometimes it might take a little while, and this is probably in any sport, because whatever your counting numbers are, right, your goals, your assists, all your add-ons that you're talking about, those things are all great, and as an individual, you want to get those things. But when you get it through, and sometimes it could be your thick skull, depending on who you are, right? Once you get it through your brain that, hey, if I actually want to play here and be a part of this organization, not just for this year, but for years going forward, why don't I just do what's being asked of me to do? Why don't I just go run somebody through a wall, play tough, be relentless? Because you will end up getting paid for all of those things, and you'll have the ability to stick around. Forget the counting numbers. They'll come from you playing the game the right way, but do what you're asked to do, and you'll stick around a while.
100%. And you get more ice time. We've talked about that a ton this year, just about the young guys and how if they play hard on the defensive side to get more ice because they're more trusted, more opportunities. Robert Bortuzzo's in the same boat. You've got some D-men that are injured right now. You've been given an opportunity to get back in the lineup. He's not giving it back. He's telling, with his play and his actions, he's telling Craig Berube and the staff, I'm not coming out. Look somewhere else because I'm here to stay.
2:13, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers and Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter. 3-run deficit late, no issue for the Cardinals. It wasn't even that late yesterday. The Cardinals erased a 3-run deficit. Some say Nolan Arenado was the star of the show. I disagree. I think it was our very own Brad Thompson. That's next on 101 ESPN.
The 1-2 pitch. Arenado! Way back at the wall! My man called it. He called it, and we're tied. Nolan has tied it up 5-5.
Dan McLaughlin on the call there, Bally Sports Midwest last night as the Cardinals take down the Mets. And when he said, my man called it, he means his man Brad Thompson. Because right before Nolan Arenado hit the home run last night, the 3-run shot, BT goes, this one is about to be, this goes from a foul ball to a souvenir. And Dan, he even said, you calling it?
He left me on the hook, too, because it was two. It was two of them, because there was a deep foul ball right afterwards. I go, well, I told you, souvenir. He said, no, we're talking between the lines. I said, all right, it's still happening. And then boom, he ends up doing it. Hey, don't, anytime, and that wasn't an extra chance. Like, that was Nolan Arenado fouling one off. And I know that a lot of people looked at that again and say, I don't think that he hit it. I don't think that he fouled it off. All you have to do is look at Tomas Nido and his reaction, because had he not fouled that off at all, he'd have lost his damn mind.
Right.
So he gets another couple of pitches, he deposits that thing, and all of a sudden, boys, with Nolan Arenado around and just the overall vibe of this offense, and I know that there's still more consistency there, you don't feel like you're out of a game. And that's a good feeling.
That's the biggest thing for me, and I was telling you, sorry, Anthony, last year, a 1-run, 2-run lead, I was like, that's it.
Pack it in.
Pack it up. Honey, turn the TV off.
You're doing the major league guy.
Yeah.
Anthony, you do his voice well. Do it. The major league guy.
Yeah, he does.
Back it up. Back up the truck. Get the trailers in here. I don't know if it's a trailer or a van. No, I wanted to go back to BT's call here. So Meat found it. Before we dive back into this Cardinals offense, if you didn't hear it last night, Bally Sports Midwest, here you go.
At the corners, and Nolan Arenado.
This is going to go from questionable foul ball to souvenir.
You're calling it.
Yeah.
Arenado! Way back at the wall! My man called it. He called it, and we're tied. Nolan has tied it up 5-5.
That's awesome.
You think you got to punch out? You're like, oh, gosh, I got through one of those animals over there. This seems better. What, he fouled it off, you say? Oh, darn. And then deposits that
Did you
bad
see the
boy.
pitcher's look on his face?
Oh, yeah.
He came in with that, and he was like,
Just sheer defeat.
Not great.
Like he got kicked in the guts by a mule.
I didn't see it, but they were giving you some love on SportsCenter too.
That's
BT?
like somebody sent me a tweet about that last night too, so it was funny. It worked out really well. And it was a fun game. So you have Adam Wainwright, right, who's been throwing the ball so well. And by the way, I'm sure that everybody listening by now heard what Adam's family had been going through. The entire family had COVID. His wife Jenny, who was a warrior, like she needed some help. Like 5 kids with COVID, she had it badly. Like where she couldn't do all of her motherly things all the time, and Adam stepped up like a father is supposed to do and helped out his family a lot, but not his normal routine in between starts, boys. Like that, it's not exactly how you set it up. He fought, but he didn't have his best stuff, and his teammates picked him up. And that's the type of team that I believe that these Cardinals can be. You're going to have days where maybe it's Los goes out and shoves for 8 innings, and all it takes is a 3-run bomb by Harrison Bader, which, by the way,
he meant Carlos Martinez, by the way, Anthony. Los is what we call him.
That's what
in
the cool kids are calling him,
Yeah.
Los. And I don't mean to totally get off track here, but there were several text messages to the Air Comfort Service text line 65780 that say, "Hey, Jamie, you owe Bader an apology." That's one. "Hey, what about an apology for Bader?" And here's another one that says, "Hey, Jamie, what about Bader?" What the hell did you do when I left yesterday?
Nothing, Brad. I was just being real to the people.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
Were you?
I said that Harrison Bader, I didn't see the reason why he should be bumped up in the order, and I thought that and I know this is wrong, or maybe it's wrong, I don't know, I thought he was being rewarded for a home run. And I'm like, you couldn't do anything worse than reward that guy for a home run, because every time now he's going to be swinging for the fences. And I was right. He hit another home run. How dare he?
I was wondering how he was going to spin this. He went on a pretty good rant.
Just wait. This is going to be a nightmare. Now he's going to want to hit cleanup, and he's not going to want to. He's not going to want a single. He's not going to want a double. He's going to want yard or nothing.
3-1 pitch. Launched. Track. Walk.
He crushed that thing.
Do you know what I hear there? We've got a problem now.
Okay.
We cut that off, by the way, because at the end of it, Danny Mac said, "Suck it, Jamie Rivers."
Yeah,
he may
did.
have. He may have. Well
and if he
deserved.
didn't say it, he said it through other words.
Look, Harrison Bader hit a bomb. That was a bomb. He launched that thing first class right there. Mm-hmm. I'm just worried, guys, and I'm going to stay on this hill. I don't care how many people hate me for it. I think Harrison Bader is a fine player. I love his defensibility. I'm so calm now. Every pop fly, every line drive to center field, I'm like, this guy's got it. I'm not even worried about it. I don't even spill my beer anymore, Anthony. But then he gets to the plate. I'm like, oh, boy. I hope he tied his shoes tight because he's going to try and come out of them. Boo. That's what I think, too, Janet.
BT, why move Harrison Bader up last night?
Well, last night...
Made me look bad.
No, it's fine. Jamie, you have conviction, and you're thoughtful, and you try hard. There's a few reasons, though, that you move him up last
That wasn't even a crap sandwich. That
it
was just a regular.
Oh, it was.
No, there
Did you not see the stank in his eyes?
Yeah, but that wasn't an official crap sandwich.
No, I wasn't trying
It's
to.
coming.
I wasn't going to crap sandwich Jamie, who is starting to watch baseball. He doesn't see it as well as he thinks he does, but I appreciate him trying.
There it is.
That's the crap sandwich. Okay, there it is. No, so everybody knows that Harrison Bader has success against lefties. So, like, that part of it makes a little sense against Joey Lucchesi. But I do think that moving forward, that 7 might be a decent spot for him, and here's why. Because in the 8 hole, which, by the way,
What'd
I think
you call us?
Yeah, that's exactly.
He was looking at you.
On the broadcast, I said that against the Pirates. I said, hey, look at that kind of damage coming out of the 8 hole. That's huge.
I've seen that around the office.
I got a text or a tweet from what was in the profile picture. Looks middle-aged to maybe a little bit older woman. Who
Brad.
said, no, I don't think, maybe, I didn't check the name, but it said, could you clarify on what you meant about the 8 or A-hole? She thought I said the A-hole. I didn't. I was 8, but the number 8 spot in the lineup. Janet, I said 8. I'm responsible for what I say, not for what you hear, okay? But when you're batting eighth with the pitcher behind you, you're going to get slidered to death. So I do think that with him maybe batting seventh at some point, that could be a good spot for him. Or he just starts covering the slider like he has been a little bit, like we've seen Tyler O'Neill do. But I don't worry about moving him up. And I don't worry about, it's so funny because these are the exact same conversations we're having about Harrison Bader right now and in the last year that we had about Colton Wong. These are the exact same ones. Like, oh, great, Colton hit a home run. Now he's going to lift and separate and try to put one in the seats when he should be slapping the baseball or driving the ball. But what happened with Colton Wong?
Started slapping the ball down.
He evolved as a hitter, right? And he started figuring out that the ups and downs, the fits and starts just wasn't how he was going to have success at the big league level.
That's all I'm asking for, Brad.
Well, but here's the thing, Jamie. Like we were talking about Perron, okay? We're talking about old white skates himself coming in like he's got the league figured out. And then if you love something, let it go. And then he comes back and he's like developed into this really great player that people look at and say, I want to do what Perron is doing. It takes a while. Like, Perron didn't come into the league right off the bat, and everybody's like, I want to be him.
Yeah, no.
They were like, he's got some stuff going for him, but I'm going to watch these guys. That's kind of where Harrison Bader is. He's got the raw skill set, but I think he's still learning how to mold it into what his total, to use a Schilteism, toolbox is going to look like. He is a gap-to-gap guy. He's more singles and doubles than he is home runs, but he's got the power. He's going to realize when he can tap into that, and maybe we'll start seeing that evolution.
That's Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. We will get to Joey Vitale here in a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to let you know the Cardinals have recalled Johan Oviedo, who's going to start tonight. They recalled him from their alternate training site, and they placed Jordan Hicks on the 10-day injured list with right elbow inflammation, but that is retroactive to, I forget the date. Saturday?
Yeah. So the thing with that, too, the reason, there were a lot of people wondering why they didn't just put him on yesterday.
Yeah.
And the reason being, to get Oviedo back before the 10 days, someone had to go to the IL. They knew it was going to be Hicks, but they wanted to wait until they needed to make the roster move.
There you have it. Brad is back on the call tonight with Dan McLaughlin on Bally Sports Midwest, so he is leaving us at 3 o'clock, but 6:45 first pitch. It'll be Johan Oviedo versus some guy that the Mets clearly hate.
Oh, real quick,
Yeah.
One thing about it never feels like a game is out of touch. Like you got this group, you get down by 3. Don't get down by 3 tonight. If you get down by 3 tonight,
It's not a great strategy.
it's not going to feel like it felt last night.
Brad, they're not going to get down by 3.
That's what I'm saying. But
It's gonna be like 0-0 into the 8th. And
that's
then,
how they work.
Yeah.
He's got, I think I might have this right. I believe that DeGrom, and I'll look into this before I actually say it on a broadcast, but, I'll say it here. Who's listening? But I think that DeGrom has more RBIs this year than he has earned runs.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
2 earned runs. I think he might have driven in 3.
And I think his ERA is like 0.56.
0.51.
Yeah.
0.51.
I was checking that out. I was like, whew, this looks fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be fine.
Joey Vitale is going to join us next. He was alongside Chris Kerber last night on the Home of the Blues, 101 ESPN. We'll ask him what he saw in that Ducks game. Break it all down next with Joey Vitale on 101 ESPN.
The 1-2 pitch. Arenado! Way back at the wall! My man called it. He called it, and we're tied. Nolan has tied it up 5-5.
Down and out, down and out. We're talking Blues hockey. It's the Joey Vitale Report on 101 ESPN. Brought to you by The Electrical Connection. When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, visit electricalconnection.org.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Brown and Crouppen Celebrity Line. We're joined by our guy, Joey Vitale, who was alongside Chris Kerber last night on the call as the Blues knock off the Anaheim Ducks 3-1. Joey, what's up, man?
Hey, Saul's doing good, buddy. How you doing today?
Doing really well. So as a former player, you would know this. You're coming off a really big road series against Minnesota. Of course, you also played Colorado. So 2 back-to-back really tough series against 2 elite opponents. And then you take on an Anaheim Ducks team. Their season's, for all intents and purposes, it's over. They're not very good. How difficult is it to not fall into kind of that trap where you let your emotions down and all of a sudden you're playing a bad opponent and they're almost matching you?
Yes, it's a different preparation completely. You know, I would say that it's easy to lose focus in games like last night because of the caliber of team you're facing. And not to mention, you know, so much of winning in hockey and winning in any sports is kind of knowing your opponent and getting, you know, countering whatever they're going to do. You know, when you face Vegas and Minnesota and Colorado, you know their depth. You know McKinnon's. You know the Pacioretty's, right? You know the Suter and Spurgeon matchup. You're expecting Devin Dubnyk in net or Cam Talbot for Minnesota. So you know how to beat them and how to counter what they're going to do. And that all adds to winning. Now, last night, and again tomorrow night with Wednesday coming around the corner for another Ducks game, you don't know your opponent that well. You don't know some of these players. I guarantee you some of the Blues players went into the pregame skate last night, or yesterday morning rather, looked at the lineup sheet for Anaheim and probably couldn't have named 5 guys on that list or ever played against them or with them and knew anything about them. So with that comes this whole unexpected, you know, what are these guys? What do they represent? And how are we going to counter it? So it can be a little bit tricky. You know, I know the term trap game comes up a lot. In some ways, I think those last night victories, to me, those are more well established and those are more well constructed and well earned than some of the more predictable games like you see from Minnesota and Colorado. So the Blues did a great job last night, just sticking with it, sticking with that focus. It got a little sloppy there in the first period, but listen, you got a great goaltender that kind of kept you in the fight all the way through. You waited for your opportunities. You kind of lulled them to sleep. You kind of gave the patient, kind of skilled guys a bit of a rest there, and then they kind of countered in a great way in the third period. So it was a good win.
Joey, sometimes in the middle of a season, you've got injuries, you've got all sorts of other things going on. You're Craig Berube, you're trying to find the right line combinations. Every now and then you stumble upon a gem. And Craig Berube, it looks like he stumbled upon something pretty good with Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, and Mike Hoffman. These 3 guys, although I will admit that I was like, oh boy, I don't know how this is going to work out. They have been playing some really good hockey.
They have, and I think, Riz, I've been calling them the misfit line because everything the St. Louis Blues hockey is pretty much represented over the last 3 to 4 years. They're the opposite, right? they don't necessarily play hard. They don't necessarily play that kind of grisly, get in your face, get to the net front style of hockey. They're not gonna whack you after the whistle. They're not gonna pop you at the face off. You know, all the things that made Craig Berube and Blues brand of hockey so famous and so popular back in 2019, they don't really represent that. And you have to love how Craig Berube has treated these guys. You know, he's not trying to make them something they're not. And this is a whole other topic that we can get into another time. But Rich, you know this. There are so many coaches in this league that say, "This is my style. I need guys to play my style. And if you're not going to play my style, then get the hell out of here," right? But Craig Berube, he's kind of softening up a little bit. You got to soften for these millennials, for these young guys that watch Instagram all day long and do these little fiddle doos and fiddle dees with the puck around the net, and he's softened to these guys. He's saying, listen, just go out there and do your thing. It may not be what Craig Berube likes. It may drive him absolutely bonkers to see Jordan Kyrou turn the puck over at the blue line repeatedly, but eventually it's going to work and it's going to lead to some goals. So yeah, that's why this is the misfit line. They don't really embody what I think the rest of the team is trying to do, but that's okay. So you got a different line identity. It's kind of line by line identity. And for this third line, they got an amazing amount of speed with Thomas and Kyrou. And then you got the shooter and Mike Hoffman. The creativity, the confidence is really starting to brew with these 3 guys. And this is going to be a big one because as you start turning the page to playoffs, everything always comes down to one thing, that third line. How productive can the third line be? I mean, look at that 19 run for the St. Louis Blues. That Winnipeg and Dallas series, I don't care what you say. Without Thomas, Bozak, and Maroon, that third line, the Blues do not make it to the Western Conference Finals. It's all about that third line and the matchups you're going to get because the head coach on both sides is going to be trying to shut down your top 2 lines. Those top 6 forwards are going to try to be shut down by the counter effect of your opponent. So what can that third line do? What kind of mismatch can you get on that third line? How productive can you be? This third line has really shown up. They've really been doing it. They've been playing with speed. But not only that, guys, not only getting energy for the team, they're getting goals. I mean, they are really been productive lately, which has been a huge bonus for the St. Louis Blues team.
Joey, what else? Another thing that's been a bonus has been the power play here recently. 1 for 2 again in the game last night. When you're watching this group, what changed? Like, what do you notice right off the bat that is making this power play more successful?
Well, I think that you have a one-timer option on both sides now, which I think that for a while there they didn't necessarily have. You had Vladimir Tarasenko out there. You had David Perron out there. Now, one's a lefty, one's a righty. But a lot of times, Vladdy likes playing on his off swing because he likes to drag and shoot it. So what happens to Perron? Perron's forced to his offside. Now, Perron likes that too. He likes to drag and shoot too. He scored some amazing goals there. Now, that's fine. But to have a righty on his offside and a lefty on his offside, what you're going to do when you're going to move the puck down to those guys, all you're doing is giving your opponent an extra second to reset. You're giving your goaltender an extra second to go from left to right or right to left, so you're not going to be as productive. So the biggest thing I'm looking at this power play right now is that they have 2 one-time options, and you have a great passer at the key. You got Mike Hoffman on the left side, who replaced Vladimir Tarasenko when Vladdy went down, and even with Vladdy back in the lineup last night, he still went out there in that top unit. So it looks like he's going to be solidified as the one-timer on the left side. So that forces David Perron back onto the right side on his strong side because he's a righty. So now you got righty and Perron, you got lefty and Hoffman, 2 one-time threats. They've been great passers to each other. They've been hitting the seams very well. And then I mentioned the passer on top of the key. You know, with Vince Dunn and Torrey Krug out, that's been a bit of a hurt for St. Louis. And I think that's why it's kind of slowed down a little bit. But when you get Torrey Krug and Vince Dunn back in there, those are the elite passers. Look at the way Torrey Krug dishes the puck. He goes one way and he looks another way and he passes to the right. Looks to the right, he passes to the left. Right? So it's all that deception. You know, opponents, you're taught to look at hips, right? You're taught to look at hips, you're taught to look at hands. But you can't help but look at the eyes. You know what I mean? So I remember I was playing football by Coach Bob Shane and back in CBC. Like, Vitaly, you got to look at the hips. Look at the hips. Stop looking at his eyes. And hockey players are the same way. You kind of get fixated on eyes. So if you see Torrey Krug, he's looking left. You move your stick to the left, think he's going to pass left, and then he passes to the right. So that's that kind of passing, kind of sneakiness I think Torrey Krug and Vince Dunn have been adding to this power play. And then you got the one-time option with Mike Hoffman and David Perron. And not to mention, they just got hot sticks right now. Sometimes it's just getting that balance and getting that confidence and getting that thing rolling. And that's what this top unit has certainly been doing, and even the second unit as well.
Joey, talking about being a little bit sneaky out there. Got to talk about our boy, Big Bobby Bortz, yesterday with his first goal of the season, being rewarded for, well, quite honestly, consistent play. For Craig Berube recently, some tough play. Now he jumps up, gets himself a goal last night. It's nice to see the big boy get rewarded. Dude,
when he scores goals, I mean, I thought last night was Game 6 of like the Western Conference Final in overtime. There is not a guy in this league that celebrates goals with as much passion as Robert Bortuzzo. I mean, I still think back to that San Jose goal he scored back in 19, the playoffs. He kind of went forehand, backhand under the bar, and he was so jacked up. Now, that was a huge goal, but even looking at last night, you know, nothing like a Monday evening in St. Louis against the worst team in the league, and then you get the go-ahead goal in the third period. I actually texted Bort last night and chirped him a little bit for that. But, you know, you can't help but love those depth guys. I mean, you know, guys you see in sports all the time. The guys are those unsung hero types that just go out there and, you know, put their blood, sweat, and tears out for the team every single night, but necessarily don't ever get rewarded. He's never been a star all year long. He goes out in the third period, jumps up in the rush, stays in the rush on top of the crease, a great feed and a great one-timer, and he's all kinds of pumped up. Goes down on one knee like he won the Stanley Cup. But then everyone on the bench, of course, that's my favorite reaction, because as he's coming through the line, no one is as happy for anyone scoring a goal on that team as when Robert Bortuzzo scores, because they look at the fights he had last week. 2 fights in the same game against 2 very tough customers in that Minnesota game with Greenway and Foligno, big, heavy guys with big, heavy rights. He fights twice in that game, going after the guy who went after Kyrou. So just a team guy through and through, and it is so nice to see the fourth liners get rewarded, and certainly those bottom pair guys get rewarded, especially for everything that Robert Bortuzzo brings to this team.
Joey, great stuff as always, man. Always love having you on the show. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a great week.
You too. Joey Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, and he's right. I mean, Shakira says it best. Hips don't lie, boys.
No, they don't.
You got to watch the hips.
Hers don't either.
No, not one bit.
Nope.
You watch the eyes will lie. Hips don't.
One of the better Super Bowl halftime shows we've seen.
It was weird. I was going through my TV the other day, and I somehow was still DVR.
Still had it, huh?
It's weird. It was a good game, too.
It certainly was. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Who was in that game, Jamie?
You know.
Meat knows. Meat, who was in that game? The Shakira game.
Chiefs?
That's correct.
That's right.
Chiefs and 49ers.
Yeah. Chiefs won that game. I knew that.
Last time
Jimmy... I kept it.
Alex Reyes, more valuable as a starter or a closer long term? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
Top of the lineup, 1-run game. Alex Reyes in. Here we go.
Again, this is how you set it up, right? Hand the ball over to your best arm. Hasn't given up a run yet.
3-2 pitch. Fly ball, left field. This will do it. O'Neill there. Makes the catch, and the Cardinals hold on for a 6-5 win. St. Louis is now 5 games above the 500 mark.
Danny Mac last night, Bally Sports Midwest, alongside our guy Brad Thompson, who's going to leave in about 10 minutes or so to join Dan again on the telecast tonight. Hopefully there's a game. Rain all day. Rain expected it tonight, but maybe there's a little bit of a clearing, boys.
We got a window.
A
I don't know. I
clearing.
checked earlier, and it looked like it was going to be harder around game
Well, then
time.
just
We'll
put the top
see.
on.
That would be nice.
Retractable roof.
You don't have that?
I don't think so.
I thought they were talking about that.
It's gonna rain.
Thanks, Ollie.
There you go.
I'm not sure.
So Alex Reyes last night, he closes another game down. While walks a little bit of an issue for Alex, he hasn't given up a run yet.
It's a big issue, by the way, the walks. That's
Well,
got to clean up a little bit. But you're right. The larger
Don't you
point-
guys come after my guy.
Hold, how many guys you got?
I got a boarding house.
We know Harrison Bader is not his guy.
No, not yet.
All
You
it
know,
takes
I
is another
shouldn't say
hit
that.
tonight, and then he's going to be building a room for. He's going to have bunk beds in the basement.
Yeah. He's got Carlos Martinez right now and living in his house.
Yeah, I got Los and the Nog father. Nog father's healing up. He's doing pretty good. Got a little haircut the other day. The wife and I told him he was going to be around the house. Got to clean it up a little bit. He got a haircut. Was
Good.
nice.
That was good.
Yeah. And Alex Reyes, yeah, he's walking a few guys, Anthony, but he's still my guy.
Two wonderful
Got a sleeping
men.
bag, not a full
They
bag.
are.
Fair enough. Yeah. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, but I find it interesting, BT. So when you look at Alex Reyes, especially now with Jordan Hicks on the IL, and it's retroactive to last Saturday, so hopefully it's not a long-term IL stint there for Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, hopefully we'll hear more about that today, by the way.
There you
the
go.
severity.
Hicks isn't closing games right now anyways. It's been primarily Alex Reyes. Is there a situation throughout and this is premature, but we're sports radio and we talk about premature things all the
I
time.
think he's going to be Hoffman or Rivera. Is that too far?
Mike Hoffman?
No.
You know what's funny? I thought Mike Hoffman too.
Right? I was like, why do we have Hoffman and Rivera? I'm like,
It's almost playoffs, Jamie. That's why you're thinking Mike Hoffman. Anyways, more
Trevor Bauer?
went Nen. That would have made sense.
Well, hold on. If I went Nen, that makes more sense than Hoffman.
Well, I'm just saying. I
Well,
would have
what are you
thought of
just
Mike
He's got the
Hoffman.
second most saves in baseball.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be any
I give you
name
the 1-2
confusion.
punch.
Thank you, Jamie.
I'm with you, Anthony.
Yeah.
Brad.
Are you serious right now?
Bradley.
Easy, Janet.
More valuable as a starter or a closer? Alex Reyes.
For the future?
Yeah, for
we're
the
talking
future.
about. So the answer's starter. Like if we're just looking about where the value lies, and I've talked about this a bunch of times. Like the 27th out is a different beast, and he's proven he can get it. Yeah, he's the walks are way high. I'd say about 4 or 5 times higher than you would like them to be. But his stuff is good enough to be able to navigate through the crap that he gets himself into. He's just that talented.
But can he do that in a full game, though? Like, so I'm watching him pitch, and yeah, he's my boy. Love you, Alex. But that being said, he's having a hard time locating the strike zone consistently, and he's got a small body of work to work with. What if you multiply that by 2, 3, 4, 5 innings?
Yeah, but we're talking about next year, right? We're talking about an entire season of him being healthy behind him, and he's already built up. So to me, I'm not as well. That's always going to be a concern until he proves that he's not walking the house. Then there is going to be a little bit of a concern here. But when I'm talking about value, the more innings I can get out of an elite arm, the better it is for my ball club. And I realize that's every 5th day, but right now I look at my roster, and I'll even take Hicks out of the mix right now, not expecting him to be out of the mix. I'm just saying, like, without even using him as Hicks will slide in as your closer, I would feel very confident throwing Giovanni Gallegos in the 9th inning. Very confident. And just say, all right, well, you're my closer now. And then somebody else is going to have to, whether it be Hicks or maybe you see Helsley take a bigger role. And I do think that Helsley is going to have to take a bigger role if Hicks is out for an extended period of time. Or Cody Whitley takes on a bigger role. Maybe one of your young guns in the minor leagues comes up and is part of your bullpen. Maybe they end up doing it. But I just look at the value still as a starter. I still think he has a starter's arsenal. He's got the great 4-seam. He's got the big curveball, the hard slider, a good changeup. Those are all pitches that he doesn't really get a chance to utilize his arsenal in the 9th inning. He's just not going to, you're never, on a given night, you're not going to have a feel for 4 pitches. He's mainly fastball, slider, and just going at people, and it's working for him, right? But Here's the only caveat, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts, like where you want him. My only caveat is, and this isn't a value play, this is a what is sustainable play, is health. If he comes to you at the end of the season and say, guys, I bounce back really well in this role. I can pitch back-to-back days. I can pitch 2 out of 3. I feel stronger pitching out of the bullpen than I do in the rotation.
Right.
Like that heavier workload of when I get to 70, 80, 100 pitches, that really wears me down. Then maybe there's a conversation of what this player's future looks like and do we shift gears. Until then, though, I think he's more valuable as a starter. What say you guys?
That's a key. What you just said there, I think, is the biggest key. If I'm the Cardinals, I want to maximize his skill set. I want to maximize what he can handle. So to your point, BT, if it's a situation, and this is not, I don't think it's all that uncommon. There are certain pitchers. I remember Michael Wacha. Everybody's like, just move Wacha to the bullpen. Well, his injury history, the way he warmed up, he was better as a starter because he needed longer to warm up. He wasn't going to be an effective bullpen. He wasn't going to be an effective reliever for you, right?
And needed more time to recover.
There you go. So he needed to be a starter. If Alex Reyes, if it's kind of some reverse Michael Wacha situation where he actually is hindered by being a starter, and we don't know that, it's information we don't have right now, then I want to maximize his skill set, because what I'm seeing right now, this kid can close. It doesn't mean that he can or cannot start, but we haven't seen him yet be a starter that can go every 5 days and be consistent. We all assumed he could be a top-end rotation guy because he's got the skill set for it.
He was your best starter in spring this year,
Sure.
too. Not that spring is the be-all, end-all.
But I want to maximize Alex Reyes' skill set and how and it all kind of works together from a durability standpoint as well.
So if you're going to make that switch from closer right now, which is what he is, to being a starting pitcher, like that's completely a next year move, right?
Oh, yes.
Like, because you're not going to try and stretch and lengthen him out throughout the season to where he's
Mo talked about that before the year, too, because that's what a lot of people were asking. Say, hey, if you have an innings threshold, could you start him in the bullpen and then build him up? And he basically squashed it. Said, no, we're not going to do that.
So it's a project for next year. Yeah. And quite honestly, my thought is you're not going to know till you try. Right. And he was great in spring training. Obviously, that's where we adopted him, was spring training. But that being said, that's where you're going to know. You're going to find out there, and you're not going to know until that point, right? Because Alex Reyes can't tell you right now.
Well, he's been built up as a starter, too.
But he's had injuries since then, and he's been up and down, right?
It's a need situation. Yes, he has. To build off what you're saying too, Jamie. It's a need situation. Do you need a starter next year? Do you need a closer?
Look, Brad talks about the list of potential guys that are gone all the time, don't you, Brad?
What Carlos, Kim,
yes,
Waino.
Hudson's coming back off the injury.
We don't know. Michaelis.
You may have a greater need in the starting rotation, which would facilitate Jordan.
And it sounds like they're playing right now
Alex
for
Reyes,
too. Like the way hearing them talk.
What do you think? Like, what do you think about him as a starter? As you're watching,
I want to see him as a starter.
As a closer, I watch him. He comes in, he fires gas. It's impressive. He's got 2 pitches, like you say, he goes to. He's got an arsenal. You personally, do you think he's best suited as a starter?
Yeah, if his body can sustain it. And the only reason they didn't do it this year is he was coming off of a few years where he hadn't thrown very many innings at all. They wanted to build him up this year. But yes, absolutely, I think he could be a top flight starter. Yes, he's going to have to control the strike zone a little bit better, limit the walks a little bit, but I see him as a frontline starter.
BT's got to get out of here. He's got to go downtown. Bally Sports Midwest. Tune in because he's probably going to predict something again tonight.
Don't go.
Nah, you know what I'll do tonight? I'll probably shoot and miss 10 times, so I'll just hang back and just watch.
No, shoot and miss, and then we'll just use the audio where you get it right.
Okay, perfect.
There we go.
I'm going to hit the lights again tonight, too. Did you guys like that last night? Jamie sent me a text and Brad quit blanking with the lights.
That's with the lights.
Those LEDs fire up really nice, huh?
It was really quick.
That's quick, yeah. All right, Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, What's Trending is next.
Here's a look of what's trending with the Fast Lane. Brought to you by Sears Equipment and Exmark zero-turn mowers. Ready to work for you. SearsEquipment.com.
3:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Craig Berube, the Blues head coach, following the victory last night, is going to join us at 4:30 today, so you'll hear from the coach. He joins us each and every week here in the Fast Lane. Craig Berube, 4:30 today. With Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's our guy, Meat, with what's trending.
All right, boys, a couple of housekeeping notes. The Cardinals were waiting on some word back on Jordan Hicks. Today, they put him on the 10-day IL. Right elbow inflammation. That is a roster move that'll bring Johan Oviedo back into the big league roster, and he is starting tonight against the Mets and Jacob deGrom. But maybe a little hopefulness here for Jordan Hicks. We were kind of talking yesterday. Maybe there's some positive signs because it didn't happen. Any change in thought process here?
No. I mean, look, BT said that Jordan Hicks, we'll know more about Jordan Hicks moving forward here. I don't think at this point we could speculate one way or another. He's got a right, so like Meat just said, right elbow inflammation. That can mean all sorts of things. Hopefully it's just a situation where he's going to rest a couple of days and he's good and he comes back, but you just never know.
It's not the dreaded barking elbow, is it?
Well, if you've got that, normally you get yelled at by a radio host and then hit back-to-back home runs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I got, Anthony. Go Hicksy.
Go ahead, Meat.
There's a bad man in the NHL. And last night, everybody got to see it. This might be the worst person in the history of hockey in ever, Anthony.
What?
In ever. $5,000 fine for Tom Wilson. He punched New York Ranger forward Pavel Buchnevich. Got that right.
Buchnevich.
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 You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It's good.
It's a tough name. Buchnevich.
Tougher,
It is a tough name.
Tougher name than the individual. That's
Come
fact.
on. His face was on the ice.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have been there.
You know that the Buchneviches listen to us daily.
Nailed it.
That's good. Tough love on your kid might help him out a little bit, guys. Just saying.
So, Jamie, tell us how you feel about this situation.
This is ridiculous. Okay, last night I opened up Twitter, and it's Tom Wilson should be banned for life. Tom Wilson, worst hockey player ever. I'm like, oh my God, I got to watch this video. Yeah, Buchnevich goes to the goalie and takes a poke at the Washington goalie. Tom Wilson comes in and gives him a little complimentary glove to the face, little punch in the face while they're on the ice. Not that hard. Glove on. Anthony, listen, you wouldn't even react to it. You'd be like, yeah, that's expected. Everybody piles on Tom Wilson, and then Panarin and everybody else start like hitting him in the back of the head. He goes, well, hang on here, hold my beer. Gets up and finds the guy who's hitting him, Panarin, and grabs him and throws him around like a rag doll. Doesn't take his gloves off, doesn't punch him in the face, throws him down. Now, Panarin didn't have a helmet on. It could have gotten very ugly. Absolutely 100%. But if you don't want to get pushed around or beat up or thrown around, why leave the guy alone? And then following the game, all the media people have like, should be suspended, should be this, should be that. If the Rangers don't like it, and the Rangers head coach is on record, and the players and everybody's mad, Anthony. You don't like it, do something about it.
Okay, what do you...
Well,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So Rangers...
Well, hang on. I'm heating up here.
Okay, my bad.
I'm heating up. The Rangers TV people, their own MSG guys, talk about how, they were texting Colton Orr after the game about Tom Wilson. If you're texting Colton Orr, who is your former tough guy, you already have the answer to the test, right? You have it. And yet your team is sitting there whining about Tom Wilson. You don't like what he's doing, change it. Don't let him do it. Or exactly. That sounds like David Quinn last night, Rangers head coach. You don't like it, find somebody to deal with it. Or deal with it. Like, it's a $5,000 fine. Nobody got seriously injured. Listen, Tom Wilson has pulled some stupid stuff. Trust me. But he was playing hard, and you didn't have a response for it, and that's what you're mad at. Do you think the Vegas Golden Knights would care that much?
No, because they got Ryan Reeves.
They got Ryan Reeves. Do you think the Calgary Flames would care that much?
No. They got Jamie Rivers.
No, they don't. They got Milan Lucic.
Like I told you, Milan.
Do you think the New York Islanders would care? No, they got Ross Johnson.
And Semenon Varlamov.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm. And
He's a goalie.
The Dallas Stars have Jamie Alexiak. The Lightning have Pat Maroon. Right? You don't like what's being dealt to you? Change it. Do something about it. I'm not a fan that it ended up being Wilson and Panarin. I get it. But if you don't like that, then if you're the Rangers, when Backstrom touches the ice tonight, or Ovechkin, although he's a game-time decision, looks like, you go and show them, I'm not very happy with what your tough guy did to my superstar player. This is how things equaled out years ago. This is why you had Tony Twist. This is why you had Kelly Chase. This is why teams had Bob Probert. And you didn't have that crap going on.
Right.
Anybody who took a liberty on Steve Yzerman, guess what? You're spitting your teeth out later. Bob Probert came and found you. Exactly. It kind of sounded like that. I'm not in favor of cheap shots, but what I'm saying is what happened last night was a hockey scrum. You ended up with one guy who is way tougher than the other guy, although the other guy initiated the punching to the back of the head to start with. You don't like it? Do something about it.
You guys remember last season when DK Metcalf hawked down Buda Baker?
Yes.
Almost 100 yards. Well, of course, at the time that it happened, it was getting all kinds of social media pub and USA Track and Field. They got a hold of it. People saying, hey, let DK try out. Give him a chance. He's getting his chance this weekend, boys. They said it's open to pretty much anybody. If you can run under a certain time, you have a chance to qualify for the Olympics. Well, that certain time, he has a chance to do it this weekend, and it's all going to be televised. It's the Golden Games presented by Xfinity. It'll be live on NBC, and all DK has to do is run under a 10.05 in the 100-meter dash, and he will automatically qualify for the Olympic trials.
Wow. That's going to be tough, though.
10.05, yeah.
That's tough. I mean, world class right now. You're talking, what, 9.7 to the 9.9 range? Like, that's world class.
I'd say anything under about 10.05 is probably world class.
That's going to be tough.
So what would be an Olympic sprinter's 40 time? Would you know?
An Olympic sprinter's 40. I mean, they do the 60-meter race. They do the 100-meter. They don't really do the 40
2012 Bolt had a 9.63.
Yeah, that's his 100
Usain
meters.
Bolt. And I heard he's pretty good.
Meters. Well, I'm just wondering because, DK runs a 4.33, 40.
It's a different animal, though. In the starting blocks, it's like there's timing, there's style to it.
Oh, so you don't think DK can do it?
No, I don't.
Why don't you call Buda Baker and ask him if DK Metcalf can hunt down somebody else?
Yeah, he can.
Hunt down a sprinter.
That's fine, but it wasn't starting blocks. There wasn't a gun. There wasn't like any of
It'll
that
be
stuff.
like a lion.
There was no starting technique.
On a gazelle.
There's that negativity again.
It's not. It's real. You know what? You know what I'm talking about, Anthony.
It'll be like a tiger on a bird. It'll be a birdger.
I think it would be
Sahara.
I think it would be interesting. Sahara. What the hell just happened here? What just happened?
Desert.
Good God, that is a desert. My God.
I don't think they'll be that fast in the sand.
Put it on the board. You're right. You guys want to put it on the board?
Yeah.
All right. I say he doesn't do it.
He doesn't what?
Doesn't qualify.
All right.
What is the time
Yeah,
he's
he
got to
doesn't
beat?
qualify. 10.05.
I like DK. DK.
Okay, that means you're in on it too then.
No, I just like to chant. It's a team thing. I'm supporting my guy here.
Are you putting it on the board? We put it on the board?
Put it on the board.
All right, you people heard it. It's going on the board.
All right. What does he have to do? Qualify?
Qualify.
It's like, I'm not even sure what I'm betting on.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, the band is back together. Is this the real Cardinals outfield moving forward? That's next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
3-1 pitch. Watched. Trek. Wall. Gone. Back-to-back days for Bader. He loves hitting those lefties.
Way to go, Jamie.
And that's a base hit out to left. Here comes DeYoung. O'Neill thinking two. Racing for second. Safe at second base. Cardinals on top 6-5.
Dan McLaughlin, Fox Sportsman. Nope, Bally Sports Midwest. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that. Was the first time I did that.
I was going to
Bally
say, you
Sports
literally just
Midwest. That was the first time, Jamie. Bally Sports Midwest. My bad on that. All right, so Dan McLaughlin, Bally Sports Midwest on the calls last night as the Cardinals come from behind. They beat the Mets, and their outfielders, Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader, Dylan Carlson from left to right, they had a big night. Harrison Bader, who you apologized earlier. Actually, you didn't.
No,
you didn't
I won't.
apologize.
I won't apologize. Why would I?
Well, you went on a big rant yesterday
It
as soon as we
wasn't a
did
rant, Anthony.
the
It's
lineup game because he moved up one spot.
I agree, Janet. He shouldn't have moved up. Now, on that,
Like a lunatic.
on that comment alone, I did not go on a rant. I have watched Harrison Bader now. This is my second year doing baseball, Anthony. I'm an expert now. I've watched him swing, and he swings out of his shoes every time. And when it works, it looks like last night. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. Heck, ask Fred Bird about work of art. Harrison Bader demolished it a year ago. But when it doesn't work, Anthony, it's not a work of art. And you know this.
Are you going to
Don't even pretend you don't know this.
Are you going to cherry pick every single time that Harrison Bader has like a rough day at the plate? Are you going to come in and say, see?
I won't have to.
What do you mean you won't have
You'll
to?
be cherry picking the times he goes yard.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's the fact.
Say it. Say you're sorry.
No, I won't say I'm sorry. Harrison knows it. He called me last night.
He did not.
He did. Somebody named Harrison.
What did he call? Yeah, what did he call you? That
He
that would
called
be
me
my
a
question.
You son of a.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, this is the outfield that I hope the Cardinals run out more times than not. Now, injuries are going to be a big factor. You're going to get some, Justin Williams is going to get some playing time. It's not that Justin Williams doesn't deserve playing time because he was hitting pretty well. You talk about pop. I mean, Justin
Came
Williams
off the
is
bench,
strong,
did a great
man.
job, hit another ding dong.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
he's going to work into a little bit of a rotation. But let's be honest here. Justin Williams' defense leaves a little to be desired. That not only is
Correct.
your best three defensive outfielders, you also still. It's not like you lack pop if you don't have Justin Williams out there, and Harrison Bader has shown that. Now, the consistency of whether or not Harrison Bader is going to continue to do what he's doing, that is the question. All right, Jamie?
You slid that
So
in
there
there.
you go.
I mean, I tell you what I do. I applaud you for sliding in that Bader has the pop. He does.
He does have pop.
He does. We're going to leave it there for now, okay? I will stand pat right now.
Do you like the defensive outfield?
Love it. Love it. And that's actually where I was going, Anthony, is I was going to go extremely positive on the fact that when the ball is hit now outside of the infield, I was always obviously very secure with the infield. Those guys are killing it. When it was hit out in the outfield with Justin Williams, even Dylan Carlson at times, it got a little shaky. And when O'Neill was hurt, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Austin Dean. You got to admit, it was a little nerve-wracking.
Oh, yeah.
Now when they're hitting the ball, I'm like, unless it's a missile into a gap, I'm not worried.
Or they're overshifted. Like last night, Dylan Carlson couldn't get to the one down the right field line, but I think he was playing at one of the bars in the one of the concession stands.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
where
little
they
bit
had
of
him.
a very severe shift
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
one.
Mhm. So he couldn't get to that one. But yeah, this is your three best defensive outfield. You cover a lot of ground. I've said this for the last couple of weeks now. I think you should have speed in the outfield. If you have a game, the way the game is played right now, where the ball's in the air a lot. Hell, Alex Reyes, I think all of his outs thus far, or all of his outs last night, I think were via fly balls. You better have outfielders that can cover a lot of ground, and you have kind of a nice combination of both, where you've got some guys that can hit some home runs. Dylan Carlson can do pretty much anything. Now, he's still a young player. He's allowed to develop, but he's a perfect two-hole hitter for you. Harrison Bader, you're not going to have a lot of the defensive miscues that you were talking about with just Justin Williams and Austin Dean, and you don't have that circus out there right now because Harrison Bader plays a really nice center field. He's got command of it. He can come in, he can come out. Bad decision last night, throwing it to home. That ball's got to go to second base. Cost the
Anthony,
Cardinals
he's
90
been out
feet.
a while. Why are you being so negative now towards Harrison Bader?
Other than that,
Meat, where are you on this one?
he's been great. That is your best defensive outfield. And that might be your best outfield period.
I can't believe you went there on Harrison Bader.
He made a mistake.
One mistake.
We're talking about his great defense.
I'm not even mad at him for hitting home runs.
We listen.
You're mad at him for his defense.
I'm not mad at him. That ball's got to go to second, though, and he knows it.
You know what? Heaven forbid a guy try a little extra hard, I guess. Hey, Anthony?
Jamie, it cost him 90 feet. Okay?
Anthony, you don't watch the game.
Jen, I literally just told you what happened in the game. Come
I
on.
agree with you. I'm just busting your chops. I agree with you. But I will say this. There were a couple plays, too, those little bloops that were like, oh, boy. Harrison Bader closes ground, man. Like, he's there. He makes it. It's an effort to get there, but it would be a scramble for some other guys. And then the communication, you saw it last night, too, between Tyler O'Neill and Harrison Bader. A couple of different times, they're out there, they're talking, they know who's got it, and they made no mistakes.
Right.
So I like it. I like the dynamic of those three guys in the outfield. I do like when Harrison Bader hits a home run. I mean, why wouldn't I? Be crazy not to. I love it. I just would like to see, as we talked about earlier, more of a Colton Wong maturation of Harrison Bader.
Use the entire field.
Correct.
I'm with you.
That's correct.
That is part of the maturity of becoming a hitter. And I know that a lot of people are already like done with Harrison Bader. He came up, what was the year Matheny got fired? Was it 2017, 2018 when Harrison Bader first came up?
It was 2017.
2017. That was it coincided with Mike Matheny being fired and then Mike Schultz taking over as the interim manager.
It was 2018. July of 2018.
2018.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Very good, Jamie. You're all over it. We just started May of 2021. Last year was a pandemic year. He came up in July or August of 2018. He's had one full season. I realize that people are done with it. They've made their predictions on Harrison Bader. So be it. You might be right when it's all said and done. But it's difficult to hit consistently at the big league level. And Harrison Bader, this is one of his full opportunities. He had one in 2019, didn't get the job done. Fully admit that. He's still a young hitter.
He got better last year.
He did.
He did.
People
don't want to recognize that, but his numbers got better last year.
To your point, if he starts using the entire field, you see the maturation, you know he plays good defense, and I've made this point before too. He ain't hitting fourth, people. He's not your leadoff hitter.
If he hits another home run, though, you got to watch Schulte. I'm telling you. Arenado will be seventh. Bader will be fourth. Just kidding.
He's your seventh or eighth hitter. If you build a complete offense, you're good with what Harrison Bader is doing.
Anthony, I'm good with Harrison Bader not hitting the ball, period. I know that sounds crazy if the other guys are hitting it like they are. If Tyler O'Neill, he continues like that, Paul DeYoung gets into a rhythm. If you have two guys in your lineup, truthfully, your pitcher and maybe Harrison Bader, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the occasional home run that touches, the deep seats. I'm okay with that. I don't need Harrison Bader to be a 300 hitter and get on base every time. I would like it. But with the offense, this is one of the things that it allows you to do. Having a better batting order allows you to not put so much pressure on Harrison Bader.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Cardinals tonight. They'll take on the Mets. It'll be Jacob deGrom versus Johan Oviedo, who was activated today. Jordan Hicks placed on the IL. It's retroactive to last Saturday. BT said we should know more on Jordan Hicks' status at some point, either before the game tonight or afterwards. BT is with Bally Sports Midwest tonight, so he left a little bit earlier. He's going to be doing that all week this week here in the Fast Lane, but he'll join us for the first hour. How important is it that the Blues power play is clicking? It has been very productive. We saw it again last night. We'll talk about the power play next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Schwartz to Shin. Score! Braden Shin settled the rolling puck as he entered the top of the near circle. Inside the far post and glove side on Gibson. A power play goal, and Braden Shin has put the Blues on top.
Go!
Chris Kerber on the call last night on the Blues Radio Network 101 ESPN. Power play goal, Braden Shen. And Jamie, this power play has been on point now for several weeks. Certainly it's coming together, and it couldn't be at a better time now as the playoffs are right around the corner.
Yeah, look, at the power play, not arguably, you could say for the first half of the season for the St. Louis Blues was not good. It was not good. They couldn't find the right combination. They weren't having the success that they wanted to have. It was probably costing them some games just because if you score an extra goal a game or get that opportunity to get a good scoring chance, change the momentum of the game, a lot can change. You look at the last little while here, even things were starting to turn for the Blues. They weren't winning yet, but they were starting to turn, and you see the power play doing better. And in the last, 7, 8, 9 games, it's been fantastic. They went from second worst power play in the NHL to where they're ninth in the NHL right now, sitting at 22.5. And since April 1st, I believe they're second in the NHL, only to the Carolina Hurricanes, who are absolutely tearing this league apart right now. That's a great turnaround. And when I watched the Blues last night, and they still don't have all their guys, Torrey Krug is out now. You found a rhythm with a guy. Let's actually, you know what, Anthony? Let's back it up even further, okay? I'm feeling crazy today. Let's go back to Vince Dunn feeding Mike Hoffman. And Mike Hoffman scoring goals and creating offense. That was power play 2 for them. Power play, the second unit. Well, then Mike Hoffman gets elevated to the first unit. Torrey Krug now a part of that. Vince Dunn injured, unfortunately. Torrey Krug, they find some success. They rip off like 8 games in a row with a power play goal. I think they were like 9 out of 10 games with a power play goal. Things are great. Torrey Krug's injured now. Well, okay, Justin Falk steps in. Vladimir Tarasenko, too, we forgot to mention. He took a little hiatus for a couple of games. Now he's back. Last night, the first unit didn't look bad, had some opportunities. I thought maybe a little too fancy at times, but the second unit got it done. So you still got a power play goal from your team, from your second power play unit, which is Braden Shen, Jaden Schwartz, Robert Thomas, and yesterday was Colton Parayko out there, and Tyler Bozak. They have just been able to get it done in the power play, and it's making a difference right now in their success over the last little while. Teams can't take penalties. We talked yesterday in our pregame talk about the Anaheim Ducks. When we were talking, they're the 5th most penalized team in the league, and the Blues power play is clicking. So what do we want to do? Well, hopefully Anaheim takes penalties because the Blues should get a power play goal, and they did. They capitalized. So for me, the St. Louis Blues right now, based on where we're at in the season, it is huge that they're scoring power play goals. But the best part about it is it's not just one unit. It's both power play units, and those 2 units have looked different throughout the way here. You have Justin Falk again that's in place of Torrey Krug. You don't even have a Vince Dunn. Colton Parayko's there. You shifted some pieces around. Vladimir Tarasenko's a net front guy now. You're succeeding with multiple looks, which makes the team very dangerous.
When you look at how everything has come together, do you feel as though it's a situation where guys needed to accept their roles or be comfortable in those roles or be comfortable with, because there's a lot of moving parts as you just described. What do you think has sparked the power play the most? Because I'm sure it's a variety of things, but if you were to choose one thing that has made this power play pop all of a sudden, what is it?
It takes 2 to tango, right? That's the famous saying. And where it applies for this is players have accepted the role that they've been given now, and they've embraced it and realized, hey, we need to score some goals, and this winning is way better than losing, and we want to make the playoffs. And at the same time, Craig Berube has stopped trying to satisfy everybody by putting them where they want to be. Okay, guys do have a preference, and I get it. Certain guys have had success in their career in certain areas with certain teams or whatever. It wasn't working. And so Craig Berube just said, finally, you know what? And Jim Montgomery, credit needs to be given here to Jim Montgomery because, man, oh, man, our text line, and we know people are like, well, why did they bring in Jim Montgomery? What is Jim Montgomery doing? Sometimes it has nothing to do with the coaches. Sometimes it's just everything to do with finding the right pieces at the right time, the line combinations. We talk about this all the time for the players, the chemistry that's involved. Well, they're not used to each other, or the chemistry isn't there yet. And coaches are the same as players. They're not used to what they're seeing. They don't know what the chemistry is yet. The players sometimes don't even realize they have chemistry as a line or a unit until the coach points it out to them. Hey, by the way, the video shows you guys here are pretty darn good together. And sometimes the coach doesn't even realize it. The players are trying to tell the coach, hey, I like playing with this guy. No, I'm the coach. I'm going to do it this way. Heck, we'll ask Craig Berube at 4:30. He's going to be on here today, and we'll talk about the power play, and we'll talk about, some of the struggles that have happened just getting it to where it's at today. But it's everybody finally figuring out the combination to the lock. And right now, we're going to ride that wave, hopefully right into the playoffs. But it looks like they figured some things out.
Well, they looked good again last night. Not only just the power play, but I thought the Blues created some opportunities for themselves in the first period where it looked like their transition game, getting out of their own zone through the neutral zone. It looked like Anaheim was kind of a step late. Now, I know that Craig Berube's thought that the Blues played better as the periods went on. I thought they played pretty well in the first period as well. I thought there was a couple of times where they had some breakout opportunities where Anaheim was kind of caught, not even sleeping. It was just the Blues were that fast getting out of their own zone where they had some prime scoring opportunities. Didn't score. It was 0-0 after the first period. I thought they played well throughout.
Look, it's very difficult sometimes to adjust your game. When you went from playing the Colorado Avalanche, then to the Minnesota Wild, and no disrespect to the Anaheim Ducks, but now you're playing the Anaheim Ducks, which is a different animal, period. I know it's a duck. I get it, Anthony. It's different. Now, that being said,
the Avalanche is not a duck.
It's
either.
not a duck at all. See, there's the problem, right? So you have an avalanche coming at you, or you're playing against a duck. You have to change. People change, Anthony. Anyways, that being said, it is a different obstacle because they don't necessarily play a connected game. They don't do what you think they're going to do. And I've always said this before, and I'm sure you'll understand this. It's like when you play softball against people that aren't as good, or hockey and beer league where they're not as good. They do things you don't expect them to do. Well, they're not supposed to be standing there. Mm-hmm. He should have taken the fake, you know? It's just different. So you're playing a lesser team. It takes a little bit to figure out what the heck is going on and adjust from what you were just playing. And so for the Blues, although it wasn't a Picasso at the end of the day, they did get the job done. And quite honestly, they probably could have scored 3 or 4 more goals. There were some great opportunities where they just had missed shots. The passes were there. Players just got it deflected, or they tried to make one extra move. Whatever the case, there were lots of other opportunities there where there could have been more goals scored. So I'm optimistic that the Blues now, knowing what they're up against, will have adjusted today. Good practice, snap it around, get some ice on some of the injuries, be ready to go. I think we're going to see a really good Blues team tomorrow night. I think we're going to see a team that goes, hey, you know what? With a combination of us winning and the LA Kings winning, we're in the playoffs, boys. We're in the dance right now. We got an invitation to the dance. That always motivates a team. So hopefully the Blues are motivated by that and you come out strong tomorrow night. Again, we're going to talk to Craig Berube at 4:30. Don't miss it. We're going to quiz him. We're going to grill him. We're going to interrogate him. No, we're not. We're just going to ask him nice questions because he's a very nice man.
Yeah. And he agreed to come on.
Hopefully he's listening and he doesn't crush the side of my face in.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Right to be mad. We're going to play that next. Apparently, Meat had an incident. Where was it? A gas station this morning?
It was at a store this morning.
Okay. All right.
I'm really too much.
I'm really interested here. I'm really interested to see what kind of problems Meat created for himself.
I don't know what Meat did. He probably kicked some person's walker out.
I didn't kick anybody. I didn't fight an old man again.
He likes to attack old men. That's for sure. That's next on 101 ESPN. Play Right to be Mad. So Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, our guy Brad Barnes apparently had an incident in a store today, and he wants a ruling on something. Remember you used to do it, Stalter Rivers? I need a ruling
on this. Well, Meat came in. Well, first of all, I came back from, I don't know what the heck I was doing today. Meat was in the office. And
probably taking a nap or something.
It's possible. And Meat came in, and he was like, I want to do a segment today. I was like, okay. He's like, do you have a right to be mad? And I'm like, okay, well, where are we headed with this? He's like, well, I just had an incident. I'm like, and he's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm as excited as anybody right now.
I didn't want to spoil it.
He's rocking back and forth. He's got a sweat
it's like a
going.
Caged animal.
Although we
right
do
now.
have open gummy bears, so that could be.
Yeah, I can smell them. They do smell good, boys.
They're
it's
good.
unbelievable.
Really good.
Okay, so I was at a store this morning. I'll go ahead and say it because they are actually a sponsor of the station. I was at Menards, boys. It's my home away from home. I love Menards, and I was going to get
big money there too.
You can save big money at Menards.
What is that? What?
Menards.
What?
It's actually, is it more money or big money?
Save more money. Save big money.
What are you guys talking about?
Anyways, I love it, but it's a hardware store, right? You're going in there to get, and they've got everything, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I got a couple little things, like $10 worth of stuff. I'm waiting in line, and it's early in the morning, like 2 lines open. There's a person in front of me who went grocery shopping that morning at Menards.
Okay.
They've got a little small section for food and all that. But they get down to the end of the order, and I'm waiting patiently, and there's a question about the price of a bag of Doritos.
Oh, come on.
Bag of Doritos.
And you had the answer.
I did not have the answer,
okay.
but I had to wait for the answer. $3.40 something for this bag of Doritos, and we had to do a price check.
Oh. Okay.
Had to call back to the back of the building. Of course, nobody's in the area, so they're trying to get somebody over there to do
Menards
a price
big
check.
place, too.
Yeah,
Waited
it
like
is.
5 minutes for this. Like, can we just scrap the bag of chips at some point? I was
I'd
fuming.
like to see you in that situation.
Jamie, of
mate.
all people, I would
Exactly.
scrap
Well,
that bag of chips.
I mean, you would have ate it right on the spot and said,
Okay.
deal with
Maybe.
it, Menards.
But why are you doing this? Have some awareness. Read the room.
I'm with Meat on this.
Okay,
He's got a
see,
right to be mad.
I'm against you guys on this, and here's why. Okay, is although I will agree that one part of it, that yes, that's an inconvenience to you, 100%. How many lanes did you say were open?
Like 2 or 3. Maybe.
Okay, why?
It was
didn't
early. It was
well,
early in the
why
morning.
didn't they have more lanes open? Right. So this is my.
It's early in the morning.
It doesn't matter. This is my pet peeve all the time. Is I see people walking around the store and doing this, and then you get to the checkout line. No matter what time of day it is, or certain stores, you walk up and it's one lane open. They've got 7 people in line, and they've got other people that are outside having a cigarette on their
That's
break.
not true.
Meat, don't start with me. Now, that is a pet peeve of mine. And it is difficult when you have a person who wants a price check, or they decide that, well, they're going to use every coupon they've ever had. And the kicker, they're going to write a personal check for it.
Oh,
And
man.
they've got to get their ID out and write the driver's license
Yep.
number down. I'm with you guys. But at the same token, it's up to the other cashier to be like, you know what, hang on. While they do that, why don't you step over here? Boom, I'll check you out, sir.
But they can't do that. It's
You haven't
COVID.
heard
You
that
can't
very
get
often,
close
have
to
you?
people. You know, you got to wait and they got to scrub everything down after each customer comes through.
Look, Jamie, I know where you're
on
going
that
with this,
guy.
and that certainly is another reason to be upset.
Don't
but,
be that guy.
But we're haggling. This isn't a piece of lawn equipment that is thousands
But you
of
can't go
dollars.
to-
This is a bag of Doritos.
You can't go to Menards and get hungry. I do it all the time. I walk into Home Depot.
You absolutely can, but pay
And I get
the
hungry.
$3.47. Don't ask him for a price. What do you think the bag of Doritos is going to come back as?
Okay,
What
Anthony,
are you looking
you're missing
for?
the
Here?
if you're
biggest part-
fighting over 40 cents, you shouldn't be buying a bag of Doritos.
I'm with
guys
you.
Are, okay. Wow, you guys are extremely right. Great
It's
job,
not
guys.
Menards' fault.
I don't think
It's
the
never their
person
fault.
checking out. Hang on a second. I don't think the person checking out was debating the price of the Doritos or complaining. They were just like, I don't know. Do you think the person went up there and said, "Oh, by the way, I don't want the barcode to work"?
Wait,
So really,
was it
let's-
a barcode situation?
No, it came up and they didn't agree with the original or the price that came up when they
So it's a
rang it
barcode
up.
situation.
Or they just misread it wrong.
So at the end of all this, we blame technology. The robots are taking over,
Don't you
and that's the
don't you
problem,
blame
Anthony.
technology?
He probably thought he got his 11% rebate immediately, but you got to mail those bad boys in at Menards.
Text
you
line,
don't get it
There's no
immediately.
rebate on a bag of Doritos.
There's an
maybe.
11% on everything, Anthony.
Is there?
Everything.
There you go. Now, 65780 Air Comfort Service text line, and I will agree with this person from the 636, which is my neck of the woods, by the way, Anthony. Lottery ticket people are the worst. They are. Okay, I don't mind you walk up, you buy a Powerball, you got to pay with cash, you can't use a debit card. You know what? I see that it's 90 million. You go, man. I hope you win. Where I have the problem, though, is when I'm getting my morning coffee and maybe a breakfast sandwich, and I'm waiting in line, and the person ahead of me is hand-picking 27 different kinds of scratch and wins, and they've got to pick out the certain ones. They won't let the cashier touch it.
Right.
She's got to pull the tray out, and they pick it out. We're 4 or 5 people deep. We've
Yeah.
got coffees.
That's not good.
Right?
I'm with you.
Okay.
I think it's similar. I do. I think it's a similar situation.
Well, no, mine's not a barcode situation.
Okay, Jamie. Here's the deal. You got to stop blaming technology. We got to start blaming ourselves, right? Oh, it's social media. It's this, that, and everything. No, it's human beings. Human beings are the issue. Meat nailed it. He's got to have more awareness.
Yeah.
This person's got to have more awareness.
See the line behind you. Scrap the bag of chips.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, guys, speaking of people that are angry, I may need somewhere to stay tonight.
What's going on?
Well, yeah,
Shannon's upset?
She's a little mad at me today.
Why?
Yeah. Well, I bought her a Mother's Day present,
Well, that's nice.
Nice.
and it's a great present. countertops, quartz countertops from our friends at E&B Granite.
Great.
Chris, great guy. He provide for the E&B Granite Studios. Bernie Federico's a big fan, too.
I don't see any issues.
No issues except for, I guess I forgot to explain it to her the right way, that the countertops have to cure for 24 hours, and then afterwards the plumbing has to be done. So we're without a kitchen for like 2 days, and I owe her an apology. But happy Mother's Day. You got countertops.
You just buy some food on the way home.
Maybe I'll go to Menards and get some Doritos.
Bag of Doritos and haggle over the price, yeah.
Oh! Oh, baby.
You know what that means? Time to play the lineup game. Jacob deGrom is on the hill tonight for the Mets. Let's move quickly here, Jamie.
Yeah, let's do this. Go ahead.
Show us Tommy Edman. Show us Dylan Carlson. Show us Paul Goldschmidt. Nolan Arenado.
Oh, I knew it. They benched him. Healthy scratch.
We talked about it yesterday, right? We're like, when is he going to get the day off?
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is now okay.
DC.
4-hole. Here we go. Harrison Bader.
No, stop it. I think that Schilte's gonna go with DeYoung.
I don't think he does. I think that what he does here, who's gonna play third? Matt Carpenter, right? I think Matt Carpenter slides into the. I am not thinking as Jamie Rivers right now. I'm thinking as Mike Schilt. And I'm thinking Schilte doesn't want to disrupt his batting order too much. He's going to defer to Matt Carpenter, who has what, back-to-back ding-dongs and pinch hits?
I don't think he's going to bat him clean up. All right, I'm going to...
You do you, Anthony. Go ahead.
Show us Paul DeYoung.
Oh, dang it. All right, I take it back.
I think this is O'Neill. I'm intrigued by your Carpenter take, but... All right, you make the call now.
Oh, no. Look
is
at
it
you now.
Carpenter or O'Neill? I think it's O'Neill.
I think it's Bro Neal at 5.
Show us Bro Neal.
Damn son of a you-know.
Show us Carpenter. Show us Bro Neal in the 6th spot.
What? Okay, now I'm lost. Hang on. Has O'Neill got a day off? Is somebody else injured?
No.
Justin Williams?
Well, Justin Williams might be in there, but I don't think he's 6.
Oh, no. Don't tell me it's Harrison Bader. Don't do that. Who else could it be?
Well, I mean, it could be Justin Williams. It could be... I don't think Kisner goes all the way up. All right, show us... I don't think it's Bader.
All right, go ahead. I don't even know.
Show us Justin Williams. Okay, so Justin Williams must be playing left.
Left field. Well...
This is Bader.
Well, is Bader in?
Yes, I think so. Show us Harrison Bader.
Yeah. All right, then
Kisner. Okay, wow. So there you go. So different look tonight. Go get him, Justin Williams. It's only Jacob deGrom. So, Tommy Edman's leading off playing second, right? You got the lineup in front of you.
Yeah, Tommy Edman is leading off playing second. Dylan Carlson hitting second, playing right field. Goldie, third at first base. Paul DeYoung at short, hitting cleanup. Matt Carpenter's your third baseman, hitting fifth. Justin Williams batting sixth and playing left field. Harrison Bader is your center fielder, batting seventh. Kisner behind the plate at eighth, and Oviedo ninth.
There you go. And, oh yeah, you just said it. Johan Oviedo activated.
Do we know why O'Neill's not in there? Like,
stay
I
off.
feel well, he just got back off an injury.
I would have to look at what O'Neill's splits are against Jacob deGrom. By the way, Jacob deGrom, according to John Heyman, has been scratched tonight.
101 ESPN breaking news alert.
So Jacob deGrom has been scratched tonight, according to John Heyman. What is being described as side tightness. So no Jacob deGrom tonight. I haven't seen who will start then in deGrom's place. But maybe it's a bullpen situation.
Anthony, this is a mess today.
Wow. Okay, so a lot to get to. We're going to do the gauntlet next, and then we'll get into some of these Cardinal storylines. Craig Berube this hour as well at 4:30. Gauntlet next, though, here on 101 ESPN.
Prepare the gauntlet.
4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger.
Spinning into the end zone. Touchdown. Into Big Mac. Land. Shoots. He scores.
BT's got this freaking.
Oh!
Can you survive the gauntlet?
All right, Ryan is back here in the gauntlet. He took on Meat yesterday. He beat Meat, and now he's going to take on either Jamie Rivers or myself. What's up, Ryan?
How you doing?
Doing really well. So you have Jamie in hockey or you have me in football. Who do you want to go with today?
Jamie in hockey, please.
There you go. Jamie Rivers.
Whoa.
In hockey.
Somebody's feeling brave today.
No, well, I wasn't going to take on Mr. Stolter in NFL today.
Wow.
Maybe if you can get past Jamie, you take me on tomorrow. We'll see what happens here, Ryan.
All right, good luck, Ryan. Good luck, buddy.
Hey, good luck to you. Hey, you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jamie Rivers going into the cone of silence. As Ryan knows, he did this yesterday, but for those that don't, this is the gauntlet. This is all hockey today because of Jamie. If you choose Jamie, you get hockey. 2 points awarded for a correct answer without the options. 1 point if you get the question right with the options. Here we go. What 90s Blues goalie took a skate to the head during a game and then returned that game and set the Blues' single game save record for the postseason?
In the 90s.
Yes.
So it's got to be Cujo or... gracious. I'll take the options, please.
All right. Is it Grant Fuhrer, Curtis Joseph, or John Casey?
We'll do Cujo.
All right, Ryan, question number 2. David Perron has played for 5 NHL teams. He wore number 57 with each of them. But for one season, he wore the number 39. What team was that with?
Well, he's played with the Blues 3 different times, and drafted by the Blues. And when he was drafted, he played with the what number?
39.
57.
57 for every one of the teams. For one season, he wore the number 39.
All right, I'll take the options.
All right, is it Pittsburgh, is it Anaheim, or is it Edmonton?
It was Pittsburgh.
All right, what was the last team the Blues swept in the postseason?
The last team the Blues swept. Well, let's see. We got swept, right? And then the year before that, we won, but we didn't sweep anyone there. And then it was, I think, the LA Kings. Let's say the Dallas Stars.
All right, and question number 4, Ryan. In 2019, Robert Thomas became the 3rd youngest player to score a goal in the playoffs as a member of the St. Louis Blues. Who is the youngest?
As a Blue?
Yes.
I'll take the options, please.
Okay, you've got Rod Brindamore, TJ Oshie, or Barrett Jackman.
Say the options again, please.
Rod Brindamore, TJ Oshie, or Barrett Jackman.
TJ Oshie.
All right, let's bring back Jamie right now. Ryan, how you feeling?
Not so great.
Okay. All right, Jamie's back from the cone of silence.
Hey, what's up, dogs?
You ready to go?
Hey, how you doing?
I think I'm good. We'll find out here.
All right,
You
Jamie.
will.
What 90s Blues goalie took a skate to the head during a game, then returned that game and set the Blues single game save record for the postseason?
That, guys, was my first goalie as a St. Louis Blue. and that's Curtis Joseph. Curtis Joseph took a little bit of a mule kick to the head and left and came back.
All right, question number 2. David Perron played for 5 NHL teams.
Oh, gosh.
He wore number 57 with each of them.
Yeah.
What team did he wear the number 39 with? As for maybe a full season, part of a season.
Oh, wow. 39. Well, I already know what my options are going to be. It's going to be Edmonton, Pittsburgh, Anaheim, or Vegas. I'm trying to remember. Actually, you know what? I think it was Las Vegas. Maybe not. Was it Anaheim? Son of a biscuit.
Do you want the options?
Yeah, why not? What the hell at this point?
Do you want the options?
No, you don't have to. I'm just offering.
No, Meat's pressuring me, and I can tell by what he's doing. He's forcing me into this. So whatever. That's fine, Meat. Go ahead. What are the options?
You've got Pittsburgh, Anaheim, or Edmonton.
Okay, so Pittsburgh, Edmonton, Anaheim.
Yes.
Son of a gun.
That's correct.
I'm trying to see it in my head, too, and I'm not seeing it in my head.
It's a scary thought to be up there right now.
The fact that I didn't say Pittsburgh makes me think that somehow I have a mental block of that. It's 1 point, right?
You did take the
you took the
options.
options.
Yeah. All right, Pittsburgh. What the hell? I'm going to swing.
Final answer.
I'm like Harrison Bader. I'm swinging hard.
Oh, God.
Final answer there?
Final answer is Pittsburgh.
What was the last team the Blues swept in the postseason?
Oh, wow. That they swept? I know we swept the LA Kings in 1998. I also know that I wasn't part of a team that swept the Dallas Stars in like 99, 2000. But is that the last time? Roman Turek was the right-handed catching glove goalie. Later on that playoff, Mark Bergevin threw it in his own net. He had money on the game. No, he didn't. That's a joke. He didn't. He's a fine GM, too. He's built like a you-know-what. All right. I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars.
All right, question number 4. 2019. Robert Thomas became the 3rd youngest player to score a goal in the playoffs as a member of the St. Louis Blues. Who is the youngest to do it?
Oh, God. Was it Robbie Fabry?
Oh, that's a name. Missed that. Robbie
Fabry. Give me the options.
All right, Rod Brindamore, TJ Oshie, or Barrett Jackman.
Okay, well, it definitely wasn't TJ Oshie because he went to college for a year or two, came from North Dakota to the Blues. So he would have been, the age doesn't match up. Rod the Bod was young. He was like 18, maybe 19. And who was my third option?
You had Barrett Jackman.
Barrett Jackman. I just don't see Jack scoring in his rookie year. In fact, his rookie year, he would. I'm going Rod Brindamore on this one.
All right, let's go over these. Question 1. What 90s Blues goalie took a skate to the head during a game and then returned that game to set the Blues' single save record for the postseason? Ryan, with the options, you went with Curtis Joseph. Jamie, without the options, you went Curtis Joseph. Correct answer was Curtis Joseph. Nice job, boys.
Brett Hall said after that, maybe we should kick you in the head every game. I didn't think it was funny, but apparently he did.
It's probably went over for just fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, it was May 3rd, 1993, 61 saves in the 2-1 double overtime loss to Toronto. So Jamie up 2-1 heading into this question. David Perron has played for 5 NHL teams. Perron wore 57, with each of them. For one season, he wore number 39. What team was that with? Ryan, you said with the options Pittsburgh. Jamie, with the options, you said Pittsburgh. Nice job again, boys. It was the Pittsburgh Penguins that he wore number 39
nice job,
with.
Ryan.
So it is 2-3 now. Jamie's still with that 1-point lead. What was the last team the Blues swept in the postseason? Both of you, without the options, went with the Dallas Stars. Both of you are correct. It was the Dallas Stars the last time the Blues swept a team in the postseason. That was in the 2000-2001 season. So nice job so far.
Ryan bringing the heat.
It is 4-5. So Ryan's got to get this one correct, which is In 2019, Robert Thomas became the third youngest player to score a goal in the playoffs as a member of the St. Louis Blues. Who is the youngest? You guys both took the options on this. You both have different answers. Ryan, you went with TJ Oshie. Jamie, you went with Rod the Bod.
Mm-hmm.
It was Rod the Bod. Rod, Brendan Moore, Jamie. Got you, Ryan. Ryan?
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
6-4, Ryan. Nice job, though, man. That was a heck of a battle. Thanks for playing.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your show.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate
Take care,
it.
buddy.
Thanks, Ryan. Nice guy, Ryan was.
Yeah, that was great.
Nice job, Jamie.
You guys did
6-4.
good.
That was
with
close.
those. Yeah, I was impressed that he got a couple of those without the options. Yeah, but Rod Brendamore, as soon as I heard the options, did the math in my head. I know math is not my strong suit, but I remember Barrett as a rookie and all that. So, yeah.
By the way, Rod Brendamore, 18. He was 18.
Yeah.
18, 245
Do you know why
days.
we called him Rod the Bod, Anthony?
Did he had a decent bod?
He's still probably the best, the guy in fitness testing for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's the head coach, and I think he finishes first in the fitness testing.
Craig Brewery's going to join us at the bottom of the hour.
Can't trust a guy who never has a beer, though, Anthony.
No, yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding. Rod's a great guy.
4:30, we'll have Craig Brewery on the show. We got to dive into so some late breaking news before the gauntlet. Jacob deGrom is scratched tonight. A couple of Cardinals players, regular starters, are not in the lineup tonight, so we'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. As of right now, we're going to have Cardinals baseball. Hopefully the weather holds off here. Jacob deGrom was scheduled to start against Johan Oviedo, but according to John Heyman about a half hour ago, Jacob deGrom terrified about what his Mets teammates were going to do to him tonight.
The fact that they were not going to score a run for him.
Exactly. He said, you know what, the hell with it, I'm out.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. No, he was... Well... Okay, that wasn't the actual story. According to John Heyman, Jacob deGrom scratched tonight with what is being described as side tightness.
Now, Anthony, there's some conflicting reports out there.
Okay.
Some say that not quite sure yet about deGrom. Now, I don't know who to believe. There's a lot of blue check marks out there, Anthony.
Well, what the hell is going on? What did you dig up?
Not great stuff. Zachary Silver. Not great stuff at all. Zachary Silver of The Athletic tweets that John Mozeliak with the media today before a possible game said that the Cardinals will seek a second opinion on Jordan Hicks's elbow. They're calling it inflammation for now. Surgery not on the table as of yet, according to Silver. He says more likely an injection. If anything, it's not thought to be directly related to his Tommy John recovery. He goes on a little bit more and says as far as a timeline, if Hicks were to receive the injection, whether it be PRP, stem cell, whatever, it would be 4 weeks on the shelf at minimum. John Mozeliak's specific quote was, hopefully it's something that can be managed, and fingers crossed he can join our team at some point this summer.
Okay, well, that's certainly not great news for Jordan Hicks. If you're just joining us, Jordan Hicks was placed on the IL today, retroactive to last Saturday, so that the Cardinals could make room for Johan Oviedo. So that's what that news is with Jordan Hicks. Not great. We're still trying to get to the bottom of the Jacob deGrom news, and I wonder if Jamie Rivers, who is frantically waving his hand, frantically waving his hand,
pick me.
Maybe he's got some information. What do you got, Jamie?
Yeah, it looks like all the big shots are coming together here. And Jeff Passan, another blue check mark, says that he will be out tonight, but the injury is not deemed to be serious. They will reevaluate and go from there. So a lot of blue check marks now confirming that Jacob deGrom is a no-go tonight for the New York Mets.
That division has been very disappointing to start. It's only April. Things will sort itself out. But everybody was all up in the New York Mets' stuff this offseason.
Yeah.
You and BT included.
Okay, well, look.
We've got the wager going on. Where
We
is it?
do?
Where is it? Yeah. Mets in 2020.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mets in 2021.
First or second.
You and BT have the Mets finishing either first or second. I've got third or worse.
Okay, hang on here. As I pull up my ESPN.
Go to MLB and then standings.
Shh, quiet.
This is your moment.
I'm thinking they're in third right now.
Exactly.
They're tied in second with the Phillies. They're both a half a game out from Washington. A half a game out, Anthony.
14 and 15 the Phillies are, so they're three wins back. Jamie, I'll let you.
The Phillies have played more games.
Jamie,
do the math, Anthony.
Jamie, I'll let you out of this play.
I'm not.
I'll let you out of this bet
no chance.
for $10.
Mets are going to win this division. I should up the ante.
$10. I'll let you out right now.
No.
Okay.
You tried to do that before with my Blues bet, and now look at where we're at. Look at where we're at now, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Nationals are 12. Going back to my comment here, Nationals are 12 and 12. Phillies 14 and 5. Mets 11 and 12. The Braves of all teams 12 and 16, and then Miami at 11 and 16. So the Braves certainly shocking as of right now. But look, the Yankees had the worst record in baseball just a couple of weeks ago. Now they're back to 500. Again, the Braves are going to be fine. But when you look at the Mets, it has been a team that they know they've got good pitching, but it's often on the injured list. They make the big deal for Francisco Lindor. He's been dreadful for them this season. Again, it's only April.
Got all that pine tar on his helmet.
He's got the pine tar on his helmet.
How do you get that much pine tar on a helmet that you just got traded there?
Well,
I don't
put
get
it there. You put it there.
Yeah, but you put it on the helmet?
Yeah, so that you can.
Or do you have it on the bat and then you just adjust your helmet all the time? Which comes first?
Normally you put
the pine tar on the bat or the pine tar on the helmet?
You could do either.
But what do you think? Don't give me that you could do either. What's your personal opinion?
I bet you he puts a little extra on top of his helmet.
And what would the reason be for that?
So that if he runs out of pine tar when he's right there in the batter's box, he's got it. Boom, he's got it right there.
Can't call time, walk over and get a little pine tar?
Oh, so you want Francisco Lindor to call time when everybody's already saying that the pace of play in baseball is a joke.
Correct.
Really, that's what you want
to
do.
Janet, hear me out here. Francisco Lindor is also one of the highest paid players in Major League Baseball. I'd like him to look like it, too.
Oh, stop it, Jamie.
No, Janet, think about it for a second. Janet gets it. She's old school. You look good, and you present yourself as a professional, a lot with his pine tar blocking the team logo. Can you imagine Bobby Plager?
Here we go.
Can you imagine Bobby Plager?
Here we go.
If I said, hey, Bobby, I like pine tar so my stick doesn't fly out of my hands. I'm going to put it right here on the logo so that I can access it throughout the games. No, exactly. That's what Bobby would say. Stop it. So, Anthony, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Didn't David Perron come out of the locker room with the white,
he didn't put white paint over the logo, did he?
Was he in uniform with the rest of his team?
Well, yeah, he had skates on. You have to have skates to play, Anthony.
And what color were the other skates?
Other guys have different color skates, too. They just aren't white.
You stop it.
I'm not. But think about it. He's blocking the Mets logo. That's what he thinks about his team.
All over the place. He's got New York on the front.
I think it's unprofessional. You know what? You're one of the best guys. Act like it.
You are unbelievable. You're unbelievable. You're old man shouting at clouds right now.
Get off my lawn!
Craig Berube is going to join us next. We'll break down the big win for the Blues last night, talk to him about his team, talk to him about David Perron, big night for David Perron. And then some of these lines have been interesting here that Craig Berube has put together. A lot of success over the Blues. We'll talk to Berube about that next on 101 ESPN.
Time now for Chatting with the Chief with a coach of your St. Louis Blues, Craig Berube. Brought to you by Fisher Window and Door, your Marvin dealer with showrooms in Brentwood and East Alton, Illinois.
Bring out the Zamboni. The horn sounds, and the Blues get a 3-1 win over the Ducks and take the magic number from 6 points down to 4 as they inch closer to the postseason.
Chris Kerber on the call last night as the Blues knock off the Anaheim Ducks 3-1 with former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Brown and Crouppen Celebrity Line like we do each and every week here in the Fast Lane and talk to the Blues head coach Craig Berube, who joins us. Chief, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the win last night.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, it was a good one. Not the prettiest game, but we got the job done.
All right, Chief, we'll get into that in a second. I wanted to drag you into a conversation that we had a little bit earlier, and you're an honest guy. I know I'll get an honest answer from you. Our guy Meat here, our board op, our producer, our teammate, he was at Menard.